Consider this scenario: an organization has hundreds of analytical models embedded in production systems to support decision making in marketing, pricing, credit risk, operational risk, fraud, and finance functions. Analysts across different business units develop their models without any formalized or standardized processes for storing, deploying, and managing them. Some models don't have documentation describing the model's owner, business purpose, usage guidelines, or other information necessary for managing the model or explaining it to regulators. Model results are provided to decision makers with limited controls and requirements. Because different data sets and variables are used to create the models, results are inconsistent. There is little validation or backtesting for accuracy. Decisions are made on the model results received, and everyone hopes for the best. Such modeling confusion may look all too familiar to many organizations. In a diverse and loosely managed modeling environment, it can be difficult to answer critical questions about the predictive analytical models that your organization relies on. Questions like: who created the models and why? What input variables are used to make predictions and, ultimately, to make decisions? How are the models used? How are models performing, and when were they last updated? Where is the supporting documentation? Why is it taking so long to put new or updated models into production? The organization that can't answer those questions with confidence cannot be sure its analytical models are delivering real value. Analytical models are at the heart of critical business decisions. They can identify new opportunities, help you forge new or better relationships with customers, and enable you to manage uncertainty and risks. For these reasons and many more, they should be created and treated as high-value organizational assets. But how do you do that? For starters, you need powerful, easy-to-use software that can help you wrangle your data into shape and quickly create many accurate predictive models. Then it takes powerful, integrated processes to manage your analytical models for optimal performance throughout their entire life cycle. Both IT and analytics teams need efficient, repeatable processes, and a reliable architecture for managing data, communicating the rationale, and tracing the predictive analytics models through the deployment cycle. And most importantly, the key to analytical success is quickly turning data into insights and actions, which means you must efficiently integrate accurate predictive models into the production systems that drive your automated decisions. The growing complexity and magnitude of managing potentially hundreds or thousands of models in flux puts organizations at the cusp of an information revolution. The old and inefficient handcrafted approach must evolve to a more effective automated process. How many operational decisions are made in an organization each day? Probably more than you can even imagine. For example, take a financial institution. How many credit card transactions are processed each hour? At one major processor, the transaction rate can reach 14,000 per second. Each one represents an operational decision to allow or disallow the transaction to go through based on a calculated fraud risk score. And while each operational decision or transaction may have a low individual risk, the large number of these decisions that are made hourly or daily greatly compounds the associated risk. That's why the ability to produce good operational decisions very quickly, while incorporating ever-increasing volumes of data, can mean the difference between fraud and no fraud. So, what does it take to make a lot of good, fast operational decisions that consistently reflect overall organizational strategy, and at the same time keep your organization humming happily along, faster and better than anyone else? Operational applications that use data to produce answers for people or systems so that the right actions are taken. Insightful and up-to-date analytical models that the business can rely on for optimal decisions at the right time. The integration of business rules and predictive analytics into operational decision flows that provide the instructional insight needed for vetted, trusted decisions. A way to manage and monitor the analytical models to ensure they are performing well and continue to deliver the right answers. An architecture and processes that can grow to address new needs, like streaming data and building more detailed predictive models faster than ever. Unfortunately, though data abounds and everyone acknowledges what is needed, the ability to turn voluminous, disjointed data into useful insights that drive better automated decisions isn't easy. There are numerous challenges. First, delays. Due to processes that are often manual and ad hoc, it can take months to get a model implemented into production systems. Because it takes so long to move models through development and testing phases, they can be stale by the time they reach production. Or they never get deployed at all. Internal and external compliance issues can make the process even more challenging. Second, difficulty defining triggers. The step of translating answers from analytical models into business actions for operational decisions requires clear, agreed-upon business rules. These business rules need to become part of the governed environment because they define how the results of the models are used. For example, a fraud detection model might return a fraud risk score as a number between 100 and 1000. It is up to the business to decide what level of risk requires action. If the trigger for a fraud alert is set too high, fraud might go unnoticed. If the trigger for fraud is set too low, the alerts create too many false positives. Both outcomes will decrease the value these models create and also reduce trust in the results. Third, poor results. Too often poorly performing models remain in production, even though they are producing inaccurate results that lead to bad business decisions. Model results will change as the data changes to new conditions and behaviors. The main reasons for this situation are a lack of a central repository for models and no consistent metrics to determine when a model needs to be refreshed or replaced. Fourth, confusion. Organizations find themselves in reactive mode, responding in a rush to deadlines from external agencies. Each group has a different approach for handling and validating a model. This results in unique reports with different levels of detail for review or models that are inconsistently described, making IT translation difficult. No one is sure why the champion model was selected, how a particular score was calculated, or what governs the business rules that trigger the model. Fifth, lack of transparency. There is little visibility into the stages of model development or knowledge of who touches the model as it goes through its life cycle. Conflicting assumptions arise. Unbiased reviewers must be called in to validate models as they pass through each group, a big resource drain. Sixth, loss of important model knowledge. With inadequate documentation for models, important intellectual property is in the mind of the model owner. When that person leaves, the knowledge is gone. And seventh, shortage of analytical skills. Even with increasing numbers of data scientists entering the marketplace, the shortage of analytical skills needed for model creation and deployment is still a big challenge for many organizations. In summary, operational decisions are what make your business strategy real and ensure that your organization runs effectively. To ensure that operational decisions are effective, you need to manage operational decision making. Data is no longer just something needed to run systems, it has become visible to many and is managed as a resource for the whole organization. It is a corporate asset. Managing operational decision making as a corporate asset means treating it as strategic, managing it explicitly, making it visible and reusable across the organization, and improving it constantly.